everyone, it's me, Peyton Dagenstein, aka Talon Compilation on YouTube. So, yeah, as if you read the title right, this is a movie review. Yeah, I haven't done one on this channel, at all, because I haven't really thought of doing a movie review. But all that changed when I watched one movie on July 25th, 2025 in theaters. Yes, I did see it on release day. Well, can you take a guess what it is? Well, it's Bambi the Reckoning. Yeah, I'm doing a horror movie review. And, guess what? It's also a low-budget movie, which I'll explain how much it costed later. So, the question is, why am I doing a movie review for Bambi the Reckoning? Well, because it's a really awesome movie and I really liked it when I watched it. Even though if some parts kind of felt boring, but most of it felt awesome and intriguing and actually enjoyable. I do like horror stuff after all. Of course, I like horror F&F mods, horror videos, etc. Oh yeah, note this isn't anything related to the review, but I'm also a big Talon fan, I think, if the case you know. Anyways, back to Bambi the Reckoning. So, yeah, I'm doing a movie review for it, and this is gonna be the longest video ever with my voice. Oh, and by the way, the movie review I'm doing for Bambi the Reckoning will be split into 10 chapters. These are the 10 chapters, by the way, in case if you wanted to know before looking in the timestamps for some reason. Why would you do that? Oh, and by the way, the review on the movie will be in 2 chapters, which are chapters 4 and chapter 5. Literally the only 2 chapters that have review. And besides those 2 chapters, the rest of the chapters will be talking about other things related to Bambi the Reckoning and TCU. Well, without further ado, buckle up because this is gonna be the Bambi the Reckoning movie review. Chapter 1. So for this chapter, I'll be talking about how I got introduced/fully introduced into the TCU, aka the Twisted Childhood Universe. Now, you're probably wondering, what the heck is the Twisted Childhood Universe anyway? Well, the Twisted Childhood Universe, aka the TCU, is a British horror film series based on public domain characters that get turned into horror. And yes, it only has to be public domain, because if it's not, they're not allowed to use it and turn it into horror films, basically. Now, these Twisted Childhood Universe films, well, basically there's only 4 of them so far, are low-budget horror movies. The Twisted Childhood movies in general are about £50,000 to £330,000. And yes, these are British horror movies, so they're in pounds, not dollars. So basically, I did some calculations, and this is what I got for how much they would be in dollars. So Blood and Honey 1 costed around £50,000, which is around $67,100. Blood and Honey 2 costed around £330,000, which is around $442,900. Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare costed around £310,000, which is around $416,000. Yeah. And finally, the last TCU movie is Bambi the Reckoning, which costed around £325,000, which is around $436,200. And if you put all the Twisted Childhood Universe movies from least to most expensive, here would they be: Blood and Honey 1, Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, Bambi the Reckoning, and Blood and Honey 2. Which means the movie I'm reviewing, aka Bambi the Reckoning, costed the second most in the TCU. Well, with that out of the way, I'm going to talk about now how I got introduced/fully introduced to the Twisted Childhood Universe in general. So let's talk about the first thing that got me slightly introduced to the Twisted Childhood Universe, but not really. So in November 2022, I was pretty sure I was at Walmart, so yeah. I was at Walmart when I read something online about a Bambi horror movie coming soon or something like that, or in production, I'm pretty sure. It was an announcement for a Bambi horror movie, which technically was Bambi the Reckoning in 2025. But I didn't really care about it much or didn't know a lot about it, so that's all I knew. Now, fast forward to mid 2023, when some people were reviewing a movie called Blood and Honey 1, or Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. Some people were reviewing about Blood and Honey, and I thought it was just a low, cheap, bad movie until I noticed in 2025, which I'll get to in a second. But that's all I knew of the first thing in the Twisted Childhood universe, kinda. So now, fast forward to 2024, when I saw like a Twitter post or a post of the Twisted Childhood universe movie logos, and I thought, these are actually kinda cool. But I didn't really care or know much about it, so basically, yeah, once again. But now, this one thing I'm going to talk about introduced me to the Twisted Childhood universe fully. So, now fast forward to February of 2025. I was scrolling through YouTube videos until I saw something. It was Bambi the Reckoning teaser trailer, which came out in like April of 2024. So I watched the trailer and I thought, this is actually pretty good. I wonder when the official trailer will release. Well, little did I know, it released around the first week of March of 2025. And how I found out about that was when Daniel Cal Drawings posted a video about there's going to be a horror Bambi movie and an official trailer out. So I decided to look it up and watch it, and I was actually surprised. It looked like a really good horror movie, and I was really excited about it. And that's how I got fully introduced into the Twisted Childhood universe. Chapter 1 is done, folks. Yay! So now that I've told about the Twisted Childhood universe, the budgets of the Twisted Childhood universe movies, and how I got fully introduced in the TCU, let's move on to Chapter 2. What is Bambi the Reckoning? So in this chapter, I'll be talking about what Bambi the Reckoning is, the plot of Bambi the Reckoning, and some of the characters in Bambi the Reckoning. So, what is Bambi the Reckoning, you may be asking? Well, Bambi the Reckoning is the fourth installment of the Twisted Childhood universe directed by Dan Allen, including the writers Felix Salten and Rhys Warrington. Bambi in this movie is basically described as Bambi, but if he went Cujo mode, and is really scary as hell. Speaking of TCU Bambi, he looks like this. TCU Bambi is a rotten zombie deer who is about 8 feet tall. He has big antlers, sharp teeth, strong legs, and stuff on his body that is decaying. Well, of course that would be the case because he's a zombie deer. Duh. So you're probably asking yourself, what made Bambi into this monstrous creature? Well, it was due to some toxic waste. Yep, toxic waste. Also, fun fact about TCU Bambi, he's the biggest TCU villain / character in the Twisted Childhood universe. Okay, so now I can tell you guys the plot of Bambi the Reckoning. I'm reading the plot off of IDMB, so yeah. After a mother and a son get in a car wreck, they soon become hunted by Bambi, a mutated, grief-stricken deer on a deadly rampage seeking revenge for the death of his mother. Which, if you haven't known, that actually happens in the original Bambi movie. Bambi's mother is shot and dead. And Bambi's sad about it, so yeah. Also, in my spoiler review, I'll be talking more about the plot and stuff for Bambi the Reckoning. And yes, it's the spoiler part in Chapter 5, so yeah. We're only on Chapter 2 right now, so that's about 3 chapters away. Also, some features about TCU Bambi are this. He has big-ass teeth that can basically cut through, well, human flesh. Yeah, it can even tear someone's limb or head off. Yeah, it's that powerful. Also, he has big-ass legs. He destroys stuff with them. Obviously, because they're huge. Also the same for his antlers. They do the same thing. They stab people, if he wants to. So, Bambi the Reckoning is technically considered a low budget movie because what I said earlier is the movie costed around £325,000, aka $436,200, in case you didn't know that earlier. And also, fun fact, again, Bambi is the only one that is made with CGI in the Twisted Childhood universe. And the CGI is really, really good. He looks pretty sick, in my opinion. So basically, Bambi kills anyone who enters his territory, and is still getting revenge, so yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot a detail. He has like spines or some things sticking out of his back. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's bones, but I'm not clearly sure. Oh, and yeah, one more thing I forgot to mention again. TCU Bambi has one white eye and one real eye, which I mean it's actually seeable. So basically, he's not blind, but he's like blind in one eye, I think. He can see out of one eye, maybe, yeah, I think. Now with that out of the way, I'm gonna list the Bambi the Reckoning characters that are in the film. That are humans, by the way. So we have Xana, Benji, Mary, Harriet, Harrison, Simon, Joe, Andrew, Eddie, Rob, Joshua, Tyler, and Michael. Holy crap, I just said that all in one thing. Jesus. And so, this wraps up Chapter 2 of my Bambi the Reckoning movie review. So now, let's move forward to Chapter 3. Why do I like Bambi the Reckoning? So for this chapter, I'll be talking about why I like Bambi the Reckoning, what I like about Bambi the Reckoning, what I don't like about Bambi the Reckoning, and that would basically be it for chapter 2, so yeah. So, why do I like Bambi the Reckoning in the first place? Well, I like the plot, the characters, the kills, the ending, which I'll be talking about later in chapter 5, etc. I mean, the plot is simple and straightforward to the point. Basically, Bambi getting revenge on the people who killed his mother. That's an easy plot to understand. And I actually do love the plot a lot because it's like a what-if question for Bambi, and turned into horror at the same time. And also with a low budget, by the way. And I also like the characters in the movie because some of them are interesting to understand and to, like about the character, including what they impact in the movie itself. And don't forget about the CGI in Bambi the Reckoning. It is really badass. Trust me. It's really good, even for a low budget. I also like the kills in the movie because they're really gruesome. Well, in my opinion, most of them are gruesome. Some of them are tame and not really that brutal. Yeah, I'll be explaining the kills in Chapter 5, the same as the ending. And I also like the ending of the movie, but I won't spoil it quite yet, because this is not spoiler until like around Chapter 5. So now with that out of the way, I'm going to talk about what I don't like about Bambi the Reckoning. The only thing that I really don't like about Bambi the Reckoning is how much it really, let's just say, flopped because, well, one, it didn't make a lot of money, as seen here. I mean, at least it's a good amount of money they made, but not as the other TCU movies, or as much as them, but still, it's a good progress. And I'm pretty sure the reason is that because they released it on the same day as some movies, including, Fantastic Four, The First Steps. Yeah, they both released on the same damn day. So, that could be a reason. It's just my opinion. And it's going up as we speak. Well, not a lot, but it will when it releases in more theaters. So, yeah. Okay, so, yeah, that was a short chapter. But now we're going on to the two main parts of the review. The first one being Chapter 4, my spoiler-free review. So for this chapter, I'll be reviewing some of the things that are not going to be a spoiler, technically. So yeah, none of it is mostly a spoiler. I'm not spoiling anything here, but I will be in chapter 5, and it will be a really long chapter, because I'll be playing some of the movie clips for the kills, the ending, and technically that's it. The entire thing. Now, let's begin with the kills. The kills were okay. Most of them were pretty epic and gruesome. Especially some of them, which I'm not going to be spoiling, obviously. I'd give these kills at least an 8 to 8.5 out of 10. They're really good kills. And some of them kind of scared me. I don't know if they made me gag, but they made me a little tiny bit scared. I don't get scared a lot about horror movies. Yeah. But it's fine though. Well, I could take it. And also the ending. The ending is really great. But I'm not going to spoil anything. But before chapter 5, let's just say, it's an ending you'll never forget. Yeah. I'm not spoiling anything for now, okay? And of course, some of the random scenes. Some of the random scenes in the movie are... They're decent, okay? They're not bad. But they're not entirely good. Well, okay, just kidding. They're mostly good. I'd say they're like at least a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. They're really good. I like the whole entire movie in general, so what do you expect? I love horror movies, and I'm now a TCU fan. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about one thing. The intro. I'm not spoiling the intro, but the intro is really great as well. I give it like an 8.5 to 9 out of 10. It's a really good intro. I'm not spoiling it either, because I think it's obvious why. So, yeah. See? I told you that was a short chapter. So, yeah. Now let's move on to chapter 5. The spoiler review. Which is actually going to be including spoilers. Ooh! Warning! There will be spoilers between chapter 5 and possibly the rest of the chapters. So every time there will be a spoiler, I'll be putting a red text setting or saying spoiler on it with a little sound effect and a little countdown just to make sure you guys, or at least like know when the spoilers. I suggest you click out of this video and watch Bambi the Reckoning before the rest of this video. Thank you very much. So for this chapter, I'll be talking about the same things basically in chapter 4, but with movie clips and spoilers. And remember, there will be a spoiler text on the top left corner, if you really want to see it. If you have seen the movie, continue watching. If you haven't already and already read the warning, click out of this video now and watch Bambi the Reckoning before you watch the rest of the video. Thank you, and let's begin with the kills. Woo! Sorry, I had to do that again. It's kind of funny. So I'm gonna explain and show every kill from Bambi the Reckoning. Okay, so we're gonna be talking about the first 2 kills, which are not human, which are Bambi's mother and Bambi's wife named Pauline, which for a fact is Bambi's wife. And yes, she dies. But how do they both die? Well, one of the hunters, most possibly Michael, yes, he is one of the part of the hunters. Bambi's mother is shot to death. Well, obviously. And Pauline is ran over. That's in the first couple of minutes of Bambi the Reckoning, by the way. And now we're moving on to a human kill. Yeah! So the first human kill in Bambi the Reckoning is Rob. Yeah, he is killed by Bambi. Well, how, you may ask? Well, Bambi gets onto the car, which makes the car collapse, or freaking just squish and kill Rob. Yeah, that's gotta hurt. So now the second kill in Bambi the Reckoning is Joshua, which he is shot,
to death accidentally by one of the hunters. Yeah, they made an oopsie mistake on that one. Now the third kill for Bambi the Reckoning is Harriet. She is impaled by Bambi's antlers and freaking just sliced in half. But weirdly enough, she is alive. Yeah, she survives Bambi's attack, but is killed way later by a knife to her throat by one of the hunters. I'm pretty sure it's Michael. Yeah. The fourth kill in Bambi the Reckoning is Andrew. So how does he die? Well, he basically gets dragged from a rope which is tied to the van or whatever that is. And he's basically dragged for like miles, I'm pretty sure, and he's just dragged to death. Yeah. So the fifth kill in Bambi the Reckoning is Harrison. Yeah. He dies from, well, firstly, stepping on a bear trap, which literally chomps his head, well, not entirely killing him, but makes it really painful, and basically, Thumper and the rest of the rabbits eat Harrison alive. Yeah, he's dead. And it is kind of gruesome. So now the sixth kill in Bambi the Reckoning is Tyler, one of the three hunters. So yeah. He dies from Bambi decapitating his head. Yeah, or just decapitating him in general. So now the seventh kill in Bambi the Reckoning is, I'm pretty sure you noticed by now, Eddie, which is one of the three hunters again. He dies from Bambi literally ripping his head off. Yeah. So now the eighth kill in Bambi the Reckoning, which is human, which I'm talking about right now, is Joe. She dies from trying to kill Bambi by blowing up a gas canister, which basically blows up and kills Joe. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Bambi survives the explosion. Yeah. I mean, how? Okay, so now the ninth kill in Bambi the Reckoning is Michael. And, well, he doesn't really die from this, but Bambi basically strikes him with his antlers. But apparently, he survives the attack, just like Harriet. But he does die. So basically, he survives, but Mary shoots him with a shotgun, which kills him basically instantly. So, yeah. Two people have survived being attacked by Bambi, but were both killed. And the 10th and final human kill in Bambi the Reckoning is Simon. So basically, Simon gets devoured and eaten and killed by Thumper. I'm pretty sure it's Thumper. Yeah. And lastly, I will be talking about the other deer that dies in Bambi the Reckoning, which I'm pretty sure, if you already known, it's Bambi himself. Now, how does he die? Well, Bambi gets shot multiple times by Michael, yes, who survives Bambi's attack. And basically, which kills him slowly, and he just eventually dies. Yeah, remember what I said earlier about the ending of the movie you will never forget? Well, that's part of it. Which, now, technically speaking, we are now going to be talking about the ending. So basically, Bambi gets reunited with his offspring. So, yeah, it is a really wholesome moment in Bambi the Reckoning. But it gets ruined by Michael shooting Bambi in the leg, I think. Which basically makes him in pain. Well, he's in pain. And he gets shot multiple times by Michael. Which he eventually runs out of ammo. Which then, I think you've already guessed, Mary kills Michael with the shotgun. Oh, yeah, with a shotgun. And basically, yeah. So eventually, Bambi just slowly dies by his offspring. And it's a really sad moment. And by the way, I will be talking about the song in the ending at the bonus chapter. That will be a little ways away, so don't ask for now. Yeah, it is a really sad ending. I was really shocked by what happened at the end. And I really felt sad. I didn't cry, but I really felt sad. Seriously though, Bambi the Reckoning is the best TCU movie so far, even though I've watched two of the TCU movies, which is Blood and Honey 1 and Bambi the Reckoning as of right now. I plan to watch Blood and Honey 2 and Peter Pan's Little Nightmare before Halloween. But I won't be doing a movie review on those. Yeah, sorry for that. By the way, there is something at the end of the film, which is at the end of the credits, where basically some text shows up set and it says Bambi will return. So, yeah, it could be theorized that either A, Bambi survived the shot, which I don't know if it's fully true, or B, I actually don't know. That might be my only theory. And so basically, that is chapter 5. Oof. That was a long one, I think. Yeah. So now, let's move on to chapter 6. My before and after thoughts on Bambi the Reckoning. So in this chapter, I'm going to be talking about the before and after thoughts on Bambi the Reckoning, which are mine, by the way. My before and after thoughts. So yeah. So here are my before thoughts on Bambi the Reckoning. Before I watched the film, well, basically I watched the trailers, I was really excited about the movie. And I thought it was going to be a pretty cool movie with a good plot, good characters, especially TCU Bambi, etc. It looked really good with the soundtrack, especially in the trailer and the movie, which I'll be talking about a little bit later. So, yeah. I've been waiting for the movie for like a couple months, which I'll be talking about in chapter 9. I really didn't think about much of it because I didn't really know what there was going to be in Bambi the Reckoning. And I was already excited about Bambi the Reckoning, which was already good enough because I really liked the movie before and after anyway. So, yeah, I was even more hyped when the final trailer dropped. It was really exciting, just around the month when Bambi the Reckoning came out. Yeah, it released on July 9th, 2025, I think the release date of the trailer is, and it showed new scenes for the movie and etc. I think you all know, it's the final trailer. Oh, and fun fact, I even thought, like, what if Bambi the Reckoning did one more final trailer, and boom, trailer. And now, time for my afterthoughts on Bambi the Reckoning. Here we go. I felt really excited after the movie because I loved every single part of it. Well, mostly, but yeah, it was all so good. The characters, especially TCU Bambi again, the ending, the kills, obviously, and etc. I felt really excited and originally gave the movie a 10 to 11 out of 10. That's because I was really excited at the time. But now I honestly give it. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm not spoiling my actual overall rating. So they'll be around chapter 8, which is in the next couple of chapters. So, yeah. The ending scene kind of got me. It was really good ending. Basically, better than any of the endings of the TCU films. Which I know I've only watched one TCU movie, but come on. It was a sad one. I mean, yeah, can you believe it? But yeah, I really don't like the ratings, but I do get it. Some people hate the movie, some people like the movie and love, and some people have mixed feelings for Bambi the Reckoning. Seriously, TCU Bambi is the most badass character in the TCU. I like monster horror a lot, but still. Also, note the fact that he technically only kills about 3 people. On screen, that is. So, yeah. Yeah, and now we are going to be moving on to chapter 7. My pros and cons for Bambi the Reckoning. So for this chapter, I'll be talking about the pros, aka the positives of Bambi the Reckoning, and the cons, or aka negatives, on Bambi the Reckoning. So yeah, let's do this. It might be short, it might be long, we'll see. My first pro is how they did a good job on TCU Bambi because the CGI is really good. And I mean really good. I mean, not to some people, I'm pretty sure, but to me, it is a really good CGI, including Thumper. They're both as good. My second pro is how some of the characters were like good characters, like likable characters, and some weren't. There is likable and dislikable characters in every movie, I'm pretty sure. So, it might not be all a pro, but it's a pro to me. The third pro of the movie is how well the movie ending is. It's a really good sad ending. I know it didn't make me cry, but it still made me feel really sad, even for Bambi's offspring, because he was really sad after his dad or father died, after technically losing his wife as well in the beginning of the movie, which was Pauline, by the way, if you don't remember. The fourth pro on Bambi the Reckoning is how they got better at movie making, is because the movies are getting better and better each time. From Blood and Honey to Blood and Honey 2 to Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare to Bambi the Reckoning, and to apparently some of the upcoming ones like Blood and Honey 3, Pinocchio Unstrung, and, of course, Pooniverse Monsters Assemble, which they're all going to be good. I mean, yeah. I hope they're good because I really like the TCU series. I'm a TCU fan after all, so what do you expect? And the fifth pro is how they do this in such a quick time. I mean, most of the TCU movies are like an hour and a half at most, maybe like 1 hour and 40 minutes, I think, but mostly like an hour and a half, which is impressive even for the movie budget they have, which is not even $1 million for each movie, but that will come to like the Poniverse pretty soon, I think. Note, my prediction for that movie being released is possibly like late 2026 to sometime in 2027. If I'm wrong, well, I'm wrong. And finally, my sixth pro on Bambi the Reckoning is how they did the kills really good. Some of them were really good, like bloody and gory. Well, most of them, that is. Not all of them, but like at least some in my opinion. I mean, they did good with the effects on the movie, even for the budget they had. And now it's time for the cons on Bambi the Reckoning. My first con on Bambi the Reckoning is how they released it on the same day as a big movie, aka The Fantastic Four First Steps. Which, yeah, why would they do that anyway? I mean, the solution would have been to at least release it on a different day other than July 25th. So that way it could have made more money than it already did in the box office, which it currently has over $300,000. I mean, it's still good, but not as good as the other TCU movies made. Like, some of them even making around $7 million goddamn dollars. That's a buttload of money. I mean it. For a movie like Blood and Honey that's like over 2 years old, and it's still good, even though it has like a 2.9 to 3 out of 10 on IDMB. My second con for Bambi the Reckoning, that it only released around, or in around, about 300 theaters, while the other TCU movies were like around in 700 to 1,000 theaters. Yeah, that is just a big difference. So, let's see how that goes in terms of the money they make from there. And I'm pretty sure that's it for the cons. Yeah, I don't have a lot of them at all. I have mostly pros for the movie. I really liked it. Come on. Now, with that out of the way, it is finally time for Chapter 8. My overall rating on Bambi the Reckoning. So for this chapter, I'm going to be talking about what rating I give the Bambi the Reckoning movie out of 10, and I'm also going to be doing it out of 5 stars for some things for the movie to spice things up. So let's get into it, shall we? Well, firstly, I overall give the Bambi the Reckoning movie an 8.5 to 9 out of 10. Because it was really good. Well, not that good to at least be a 10, but good enough to be one of my favorite TCU movies. I know it only has this on IDMB, but it's still pretty good. I mean, heck, there's some people that hate the movie, some people that love/like the movie, and some mixed thoughts on it. That could be a good reason why it's rated like that. The first out of 5 star thing I want to give to is the horror, intense scenes, and etc. Mostly the horror stuff. I'd give it like a 4 to 4.5 out of 5 stars. Yes, I can count half stars. And because it's really great, but not like if it would have been like much gorier. Like there's other movies that are way gorier and way scarier. I'm pretty sure that would be a good reason. But it's still really good and gory, and I really like that. Now, the second out of 5 thing I would rate is the characters, plot, theme, and etc. And to be honest, I also give this around a 4 to 4.5 out of 5 stars. Because some of them are good explanatory, like some things that can be explained, and then some that can't be explained. Well, technically, which including maybe the plot and theme, but I don't know. But mostly, like, some of the characters, and it's in my opinion, so yeah. And the third and final thing out of 5 I want to talk about is the acting in Bambi the Reckoning. And I'd give it like a 4 to 4.5 out of 10. It was really good at some parts. I mean, yeah. I'd say it's okay with the voice acting. They did a pretty good job at it. Like the other TC movies. They did a pretty good job. And now, with that out of the way, we only have 2 more chapters from the Bambi the Reckoning movie review, which we're now moving on to Chapter 9, My Hype for Bambi the Reckoning. So for this chapter, I'm only going to be talking about one thing. My hype for Bambi the Reckoning, which technically includes the waiting on Bambi the Reckoning, what I did between the waiting time, and etc. So, let's begin. We're already like 40 minutes into the video. So, let's go back to April 1st, 2025. And that's where technically I saw the release date for Bambi the Reckoning. So, I was scrolling through Twitter until I found a post that had the movie poster and the release date. It was for CinemaCon in Las Vegas, by the way. And it said July 25th, 2025. And that was the movie release date. It was official, by the way. And I was like, what? But that's like freaking 3.5 to 4 months away. I can't wait that long. But alas, this is where the journey began on waiting for the movie. It felt like forever. I mean, oh my god. It kinda sucked on waiting, but it was definitely worth it in the end. I even got to see it on the freaking release day, which I'll get to later. So what did I do between the waiting? Well, I did a countdown for the Bambi the Reckoning thing. Yeah, I started at 114 days, or the 114th day mark, aka I think it was like April 2nd or something, just because I found out and I just wanted to do that on my YouTube channel, and I posted basically every single day, except the days that I was camping, and so that was just it. I did a lot of community posts like that, by the way. Some were changed due to my phone losing the photos, and some being remade, just because I wanted to. It was just like that. I mean, I was finally free from it when the movie released, so yeah, I didn't have to do like 100 dang freaking community posts anymore. So now I'm free. And between every single day, I was getting more hyped between any of the days. I was like more hyped than ever. I kept waiting every single freaking day for the movie to release, waiting and anticipating the movie's release. And especially with the final trailer in July, which made me really, really hyped. But between then, I just really couldn't wait. I mean, Blood and Iron was good too, but I mean, like, it introduced me to a new fandom that I really like, the Twisted Childhood Universe fandom, and movie series. So don't get me wrong, it's pretty good. I mean, I like other fandoms too, don't get me wrong, but this one's a really good one for 2025. Yeah, especially that. Seriously though, even if I watch the rest of the TCU movies, I'm still saying this, that TCU Bambi is, I'm pretty sure for now and for a little while, the best TCU villain slash character in the Twisted Childhood universe. Especially with his badass design, like I've talked about a while ago. And note, Despite all of this, my hype didn't go down one single bit. Okay, maybe it did, but still, it didn't all go away. I was really hyped for the movie, and that's all. And now we're finally at the last chapter of the Bambi the Reckoning movie review. Well, besides the bonus chapter, but still. So without further ado, let's move on to the final chapter, aka Chapter 10. Would I recommend Bambi the Reckoning to others? So for the last chapter of Bambi the Reckoning, I'll be talking about if I would recommend this to others, and what would I recommend them for, and what I shouldn't recommend them for in Bambi the Reckoning. So firstly, as if the title of the chapter represents, would I recommend the movie to others? Well, the answer is, well, yes and no. And there's good reason for that. If you're like a freaking scaredy cat of horror movies, especially if ones that aren't really that horrifying, well, I don't know if it should be for you, but you should at least give it a try. I mean, it wouldn't make you poop your pants or anything, but still, it's a really good movie. Even if you don't like horror movies or think they're really scary, it's still good at least to watch. So, yeah. And there is a yes side because there'd be like TCU fans and horror fans that just really just want to watch horror movies. And even if they're bad, they still want to watch it anyway. There is a definition I heard that there's like movies that are so bad that it's good. I mean, Bambi the Reckoning would fit the thing. I mean, it's still good. So, now I'm going to be talking about what I would be recommending the movies for. So, I would recommend the movie if people like campy horror, monster, creature feature horror, and just basically want to get a good thrill out of monsters. And when I mean that, I mean like the badass design, how they kill people, etc. Yeah, I mean, the monsters are like badass characters, especially in horror movies. Now, I wouldn't recommend the movie if you want to get your childhood ruined, because that's what some people say, that it ruins their childhood. Well, I don't really think it would. I mean, even if it would to them, or at least would think, I don't care. If my childhood would have been ruined, I don't know when that would be. But still, I wouldn't also recommend it if they were or are too scared for horror movies. Because, well, one, technically, all people are scared of some horror movies, even if it isn't that scary in general. So, like, yeah, that's all. So, that's it. Well, okay, not really fully it. I mean, I have a bonus chapter for Bambi the Reckoning, which is technically going to be, and there's no card or time card for this one, I'll be talking about the soundtrack and the one song used in the ending for Bambi the Reckoning. So, let's do this! So for the bonus chapter, I'll be talking about the BTR/Bambi the Reckoning soundtrack and the ending music that is used in the Bambi the Reckoning movie. Why am I doing this? It's because I like some of the names of the soundtracks in Bambi the Reckoning and how they sound in general. I won't be playing any of them, but still, they are really cool. So here are the movie soundtracks in order. Here we go. In the middle of a thicket, the hunters, through the woods, discovering the accident, antlers, painting on the landing, the chases, she's half the woman she used to be, dragged, kicking and screaming, shit-faced, missing Mary, the rampant rabid rabbits wreck revenge, Bambi's dinner plate, the hunter's lair, Bambi Bambino, Hunter loses his head, family reunion, window service, remember me, explosion, parents' evening, and reckoning the credits. Oh, and by the way, the ending song that was used for Bambi the Reckoning is called If You'd Fallen in Love with Me. Now, you're probably wondering, why did I do this for the bonus chapter? It's because the soundtracks are really cool. but I'm not really gonna play them just because if I would have got like copyrighted or something, I don't really know. But I'm just trying to play it safe, and I just wanted to show them off because they had cool names and they're really good soundtracks, especially some of them with fast pace and especially the end song. And that so, yeah. Well, that's all, folks. This is the entire Bambi the Reckoning movie review. I hope you had fun watching the entire video if you've seen Bambi the Reckoning. If you haven't, you would have stopped at chapter 5. But still, this took some time to make, and basically I know it has some low editing just because it's kind of like some of my videos because I don't really do a lot of long form videos, and I had to take some time off and delay it because of school and other stuff, etc. So I'm glad that it's finally out. And well, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. Also, you should like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I mostly do talent compilations on this channel, and I just wanted to do a movie review for Bambi the Reckoning because I really like this movie. Anyways, bye guys, and bye everyone.
The end.